And now I have the pleasure to introduce correctly Dana Bagnall to the front. Dana Bagnall is the founder and the CEO of Making a Difference Because You Matter, LLC. She is a certified holistic health and wellness coach, neuro-linguistic practitioner, bioenergetic health practitioner, and international keynote speaker. Dana is the author of Soulful Wellness Journey, Live Life Abundantly, a collection of soul food recipes, plant-based and gluten-free, which includes a curated collection of wellness tips, nutritional charts, recipes, and a playlist of soulful sounds. She has partnered with top Fortune 100 financial organizations, leading national healthcare associations and women business owners to educate them on how health impacts women's wealth and the practical steps needed to become proactive, resulting in a citywide focus on this timely issue. Dana is passionate about helping women over 40 and their loved ones heal from the inside out to release pain, stress, fatigue, trauma, depression, and anxiety while energetically mastering their well-being so they can live more abundantly. She has facilitated the mentoring of college students who have experienced its advantages and helped to bring success in their advancement academically, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Dana continues to bring her expertise in counseling and advising with the public and private sectors to the services offered in our Health and Wellness Academy. Dana Bagnall is talking about P.U.L.S.E, the love connection that unifies and sustains a healthy lifestyle with purpose. Welcome.
I definitely want to extend a major thank you to Dr. Perrin Samani, as well as Cambridge and Global Research Conferences, and you are some fabulous leaders. I am immensely impressed by who you are, the caliber of your work and your study and your research, and how you stand up, not only as a woman, but also how you stand up in your spirit. And your spirit is magnificent, and it truly glows. And I just want to say, again, thank you, and I'm so happy to be in your presence. It's okay. This is my theme song that a Grammy Award winner singer had given me the permission to use for women, because it's the kingdom and it's in it and it's in you. There you go. Yes. Thank you, Miss Nadia. Thank you. So what I want to talk to you about today is definitely called P.U.L.S.E, the love connection. The love connection that unifies and sustains a healthy lifestyle. And if we're not able to get the video to come up, don't worry about it. I am prepared to just deliver and give it to you, okay? So this is going to be a moment of just getting real, like we have been, and going knee deep, all right? All right. So age. Age is such a controversial topic, especially for women. I remember when I was younger, my friends and I, we used to laugh and joke, and we used to say, age before beauty. But wait, what happens when you find younger family members saying the same thing to you? You see, I have reached that golden era, and I'm not ashamed about it, but I have reached that golden era where, yes, they are saying that to me. And it's when you are at that point in time that you reflect back to when you were going through a quarter life crisis, that's around the age of 25, and you start asking yourself questions such as, that sense of urgency just kind of like comes upon you, and you're like, when am I going to get married? What am I going to do with my life? Where am I going to live? All my friends are doing, you fill in the blank. But when you reach your midlife crisis, you start to realize you have those similar questions. But those similar questions come at like a different pace. It is a sense of feeling like you're running out of time, right? And you start to question yourself, am I accomplishing what I said I wanted to do? What is my purpose? How many of you said that during this time frame? What is my purpose? What is going on with my health? You may have noticed some things are starting to grow or mature, and you're like, what is that? Yeah, kind of happens at this era. And then you start wondering when it comes to your finances, do I have enough saved up? What legacy am I leaving? Are my kids taken care of? And typically speaking, these are all great questions for self-reflection. They really are. But it can impact us regretfully when we start stressing on these questions and the answers, or that we don't act on impressions that may come to us spiritually or emotionally or physically or relationally or financially. And then there's that moment when the stress is so paramount, it becomes numbing, or we get stuck, or we become paralyzed. There are 3 different types of stress. There is daily stress. It's just your everyday stress. Things come up and you're like, oh, I got that, no problem. Then there is chronic stress. Chronic stress is like, oh my goodness. And then you go into fight or flight situation. And then you come back to homeostasis. You took care of it, right? It may be that you're walking into the office and you're like, oh, I left my report. Oh, I got to run home, get it, come back. Oh, great. I made it in enough time. You come back into homeostasis. The next type of stress is acute stress. And that is when we also go into fight or flight situation, but you stay in the fight or flight. You know, eons ago was when a saber-toothed tiger was chasing, you know, someone down in the safari or whatever the case in the jungle, right? And then you needed that. That's when cortisol is released throughout the brain and is sent throughout your limbs, your phalanges, your feet. It's intentional. It's to get you out of a situation that is a matter of survival. But what happens when you stay in that and that part of your brain doesn't click off? It keeps you there. Your heart starts to palpitate faster. It puts you in a state of acute stress. And that's where a lot of people are finding themselves performing now, especially after the pandemic. Acute stress is so common that it is the underlying theme that is rampant and causing people, businesses, and communities to decline at an alarming rate. Now, according to the American Institute of Stress, as well as the American Psychological Association and the National Institute of Health, CDC, and the World Health Organization, it is known that 75 to 90% of doctor visits are related to chronic illnesses and chronic diseases. 75 to 90% of them. And I am going to use myself as an example for you, okay? During the pandemic, many people lost temporary or permanent connections with their jobs or businesses, homes, health, or loved ones. Now, there may be those of you who may have experienced any of the things that I have just shared. I was one of them, okay? I have pictures, slides, and everything, and again, this is on me, but again, I thank Miss Nadia for trying to do her magic and make it happen. So, Mikey, he is my Mikey is my oldest. Mikey is my oldest bonus son out of 6 children. And he was one of those fatalities. And we all love our children for many reasons. Many reasons we love them. But he was my funny bone and my heart. But what I want you all to do is to please just take 15 seconds. Take 15 seconds and close your eyes, because we're in a safe place. And I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine that special someone or individuals who are so energetic. They are so energetic that they are the life of the party. And they put a smile on your face when you see them. And they can lift your spirits just by being in that same space as them. Go ahead, I'm going to give you 15 seconds. Just join me. 15 seconds. They're the life of the party. Can you see who that person is? Okay, good. Good. Open your eyes. That was my Mikey. He was the life of the party. Of any space that he came into, it's like, here's Mikey. Mm-hmm. So, I remember with him being the life, and he could lift anybody's spirits up by sharing the same space with him. I remember it was the night before his death. And I turned to my husband and I said, something's wrong. Something's very wrong. 2,000 miles away where Mikey lived and where we lived, we were on 2 different coastal sides of United States of America. I felt his presence. The next day, my oldest bonus daughter called to say that her brother had passed away. And my heart, it felt broken. And a broken heart is truly an actual account where it not only impacts you in your heart, because our hearts are the first responder on the scene to any situation. Raise your hand if you ever walked in a room and you could just sense something was just off. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's because our heart, they refer to it as the little brain. Mm-hmm. It is the first responder to receive and perceive information, and then it articulates it to our brain. And then our brain will then send out whatever neurotransmitter that is in need of to help us either enjoy or to help us to protect and shield ourselves. And so when it comes to a broken heart, what happens is that your brain, your heart interprets it, sends it to the brain then communicates that, oh, she's sad. And it sends out serotonin because it's wanting to help you. Okay? Some of the challenges that come from a broken heart is that you lose the sense of appetite. Your body responds differently. Some people go into a state of depression and they have a hard time. They get stuck. They have a hard time coming out of it. Well, that happened with me. I didn't go into depression because I was coaching women at the time. Thank the Lord Jesus. Because that helped me to be able to stay on a high. But immediately after his funeral, my health became mildly compromised to the point that I could not breathe. And my tongue felt swollen. And I would become feverish. So even though in my mind, I'm still going on, I'm still coaching, I'm consulting, I'm teaching women what I am sharing with you what to do, but I'm going to share with you what to do. I'm doing it with them, but I had to immediately take it into account for me at that moment. So everything that was going on, it was not the fault of my son. It was not the fault of the pandemic, because it was at the height of the pandemic. But what it boiled down to, it was grief and how my mind and my body dealt with the stress. Okay? So I'm here to share with you a solution that continues to help me and those I serve using spiritual, scientific, and evidence-based tools and strategies. I am sharing P.U.L.S.E, the love connection that unifies and sustains a healthy lifestyle with purpose. Now, in my line of work as a certified holistic health and wellness practitioner, as a certified Neuro-Linguistic practitioner, and a certified Bioenergetic practitioner, I am blessed with the opportunity to help women over the age of 40 and also men to heal from the inside out. But all of this means squat diddly, ladies. I'm going to tell you that. It means squat diddly if you're not able to apply your own medicine to yourself. Okay? So imagine this. It was the height of the pandemic. It was around March 2020, and I discovered I had meat, dairy, eggs, and gluten allergies. Okay? And I had to triple check just to ensure that I did not take on the illness that was impacting millions of people. And thank the Lord I did not. And my body had reverted to my early years of food intolerance, all the way back to when I entered into this world, into this dispensation, because I was born 2 months premature. And it remained that way up until the age of 8. Now, as a holistic health and wellness life coach, this forced me to research earnestly and seek medical advice and change my diet because my health depended on it. And if you can imagine this, I'm standing in the bread aisle. Think about what was going on in the pandemic at this time. I'm standing in the bread aisle at our only local grocery store because it is a rural area. There's more moo-moos than there are people, okay? And I'm standing in the bread aisle, and people are just swirling around me, grabbing everything off of the shelves. Grabbing everything off of the shelves, and they're trying to do everything that they need to do in order for them to sustain themselves and live. And I found a loaf of bread, and I became so excited. And then I turned to my husband, and I read it. I turned it around because it was gluten-free bread, and then there was eggs in it. Yes, exactly. And I shared it with my husband. He looked so out of sort because he didn't know how to help me. And just like that, God whispered. And he said, "Behold, I have given you every herb-bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, and in thee which of the fruit of the tree is a fruit yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat." I heard it clear as day in my ears. Just like that, I changed the way I looked at things, and the things I looked at changed. So my life was always good, even with challenges, but now life is better. I'm no longer allergic to dairy or gluten, meat, and eggs because I implemented my P.U.L.S.E wellness plan. But my body still prefers to eat plant-based as well as fish. It prefers that. Now, my family, they had it changed their lives for the better because they also implemented the P.U.L.S.E wellness plan. And it's awesome to just see it take place with my clients that I work with because it's different for everybody. But there's nothing like growing your food from a seed to a seedling to harvest than placing it on your family's plate. And nothing lurks to cause them any type of harm because it's medicinal and it's soulful. So at some point in our lives, I'm just going to kind of like speed this up. At some point in our lives, we will all experience some form of stress, be it physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, relational, sadness, fear, anger. It all impacts us in some form of way. And here's why I do what I do. I do it not to convince you, I don't do it to convince you or to have you to buy a system, because there's enough systems going on in the world. I do what I do because it is the calling in my life. So first step with taking your pulse is to awaken to what is causing distress in your mind, in your body, or in your soul. And when you take the time to just connect with yourself, you're able to do it. So real quick, what I would like for you all to do is to let me know if you're going to be in agreement to just participate in a real quick activity. Raise your hand if you are. Okay, awesome sauce. All right, keeping that same hand up. I want you to keep your hand up. All right, I want you to lower your thumb. Okay, and I want you to lower your index finger, lower your pinky. All right, how many fingers you have up? Two. All right, now I want you to turn your palm towards yourself. What does that mean typically when you see this sign? If someone throws it up at you, what does it mean? Peace. Yes. Yes. And since we're here in United Kingdom, Winston Churchill was the first one to have this to represent victory. Okay? But yes, usually when you see this, it's universal. It means peace. The opposite of stress is peace. People are seeking peace. Oh, good grief. All right. People are seeking peace. And so what is important when you are detecting what is going on is for you to find peace within inside of yourself. There's many ways that we do it within my practice, but initially what we will do is start with a pulse wellness scan. And we can do it by people doing it in person or remotely. You would place your hand on a mouse device to take your pulse, or you can also do it with your voice. And it only takes 10 seconds to do it. The reason why we use your voice is because your voice is like a tuning fork. Because in your body, you're full of cavities. Within inside of your cavity, and your cavities vibrate at different levels. We refer to them as chakras, as energy centers. It is real, it is scientific, it does exist. But in the midst of that, you have all your other organs that are performing and doing their part. Okay? So you would take your pulse that way, and we receive the frequency, and then what will come up on the scan is you. It's truly as if your spirit is sitting across from you and having a conversation and saying, pay attention now. Here are the things that I am in need of help with. The second step, if I could take 3 more minutes. The second step is for you to take your pulse, and is the acronym. Practice unlimited love through self-evaluation. All right? Once we know what your body is communicating to you, because you are the best person that knows yourself best. Okay? Once we know on the screen what you are communicating to yourself, then we are strengthening you. We're going to take what is needed and is customized, because one cookie does not fit all. All right? So it may be sound therapy. It may, which is music. It's the frequency, it's the vibration. It may be meditation. It may be movement. Everyone has to be in movement in some form or fashion. Yoga is a phenomenal way in order to bring your mind and body into coherence and in alignment with the I am that is inside of you. Okay, so and there's other stuff that we do. There's also pulse electromagnetic field therapy. It's scientific, it's evidence-based proof. Many people with different illnesses and diseases are no longer experiencing the symptoms that physicians are telling them that they are not able to recover from. I'm talking about fibromyalgia, I'm talking about heart disease, I'm talking about diabetes, I'm talking about cancers, I'm talking about a lot of different illnesses. It can be done. It can be done. All right? And the last part is just to break through, and how you break through is eating your pulse. 3 ways to take your pulse. Eat your pulse. Pulse means it is multi-grains, anything that comes from a seed. It is biblical. It is written. It goes all the way back. It cleanses you. You do not have to become a vegan or a vegetarian or a pescatarian or any of that. But what is important is that you choose to, on your plate, put more pulse, beans, legumes, seeds, vegetables onto your plate than you do meat. Okay? You heard me say the scripture earlier that came to me in Genesis about pulse, it shall be your meat. You can do this. It's scientific. It cleanses you. It changes the vibration that is within your body and within your mind. People are healing. People are recovering. So whatever illnesses or challenges that you are going through, I encourage you to break through. I encourage you to change your mindset. It's a shift. That's all it is. It's not hard. It's just a shift. If you're in need of help, I do this. I love it. It's amazing to see people, how they come in and how they leave out. I love our healthcare system, but it's in need of improvement for sustainability. They receive less than 1% training when it comes to dealing with the holistic part of our beings, our well-beings. We partner with practitioners, with physicians, and so forth, and then our clients take their information to them, and it changes the conversation. Don't fall in love with the white coat. So I wish you all success. I thank you for your time. And if you have any questions and you want to know how to get a pulse wellness scan, just let me know. Okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you. And next we would like to recognize and award our eminent speaker, Dana Bagnall. Please come on up to be recognized. Thank you for sharing your expertise with us and blessing us with your presence.
Thank you. Namaste to you.
We are joined today by Dana Bagnall from Utah, who's been joining us for the GRC 2023 conference. Dana, thank you. What was your favorite part about the conference?
Oh, it's so hard to choose just one favorite part, but in essence, I would just say being at Cambridge University, the history, being in the presence of phenomenal women who are making a difference in the world throughout the globe, and being in the presence of greatness and royalty, and the messages that the women imparted about confidence, standing in your truth, who are being pioneers throughout the world, who are taking a stance, who are not giving up, who are eminent in their talents and their gifts. There's just so many, it's hard to just, capture it all in one word.
Now, what was your key message that you shared with us today from your talk?
Oh, thank you for asking. My key message is for all participants and all listeners to remember to take your pulse. Taking your pulse is establishing peace within your mind, your body, and your soul. You take your pulse by awakening to what's holding you back. That's the first step to detecting. The second step is for you to look at how you can correct it by strengthening yourself. There are so many different ways to do it, by yoga, by meditation, sound therapy, by understanding who you are innately, looking at the different areas where you are in need of improving when it comes to spiritual, emotional, physical, relational, and financial. And the last step, which is the third and most beautiful step, it is the creme de la creme, which is to break free. And how you break free is by eating your pulse. That means just eating more plant-based meals, putting it onto your plate because it cleanses your body. It is scientific, it's evidence-proof, and we need to eat more clean to help combat illnesses and diseases, as well as to prevent illnesses and diseases from coming. So we can all do this. It's really simple. Take your pulse. That's all you have to do every single day and persevere.
Thank you, Dana.